Welcome everyone, my name is Molly, and welcome to the BYB Insider. And here is your host, the big guy.
And thank you for that lovely introduction, Molly. And as she has said, this is the internet's #1 favorite show. You have found the BYB Insider. This week, the BYB boys finally take the field. It's weeks 1 and 2 of action here on the Insider, and as well, the War Room is coming with all the news that you need to know about the league going forth, and as well as our new feature that we will debut in this season. It is the Pyrotech Scoreboard. That's right, kiddies. New looks, a new season. We got some new stuff heading your way, but we're going to waste no time. It's time to see what transpired in week 1. Here we go.
All right, gang, here we go. It's week 1, and it's the Pound Town and the McConnell Mud Dogs. Calandros and Tommy Quick, the two best friends. Let's take it to the Pound Town side, and welcome to the new Pyrotech Scoreboard. For Pound Town, it's Aaron Rodgers leading, AJ Green, Rashad Jennings, great points, but Ben Tate and Torrey kind of short. And as we flip it around onto the defensive side and the kickers and the tight ends, it's the same story for Calandros. Not much there. Could the McConnell Mud Dogs, after a 10-game slide, is it over? Well, if you're looking at these points, folks, you kind of assume that it might be, and it only got better on the flip side as Greg Olsen comes through with 22 points, and the streak is over. The Mud Dogs are finally winners, 121-94-5. We're moving on. It's the battle of the opposing stadiums. The Sex Panthers and the Guild. We take it to the new Sex Panthers, Larry Dameron's crew, and Larry came in ready to roll. Kaepernick 21 points, Forte 24, Jordy Nelson cranking down a big 17 game, and as we flip it over, Luke Kuechly, big defensive effort, 15 points. But we're going to take it to the Guild, and does Michael have answers? Indeed he does, in the name of Marshawn Lynch. 25 points. CJ Spiller with 15, and as it flips it over, look at Zach Ertz, Dansby, and Matt Bryant. The punky little kicker made the difference. The Guild knock off the Sex Panthers 130-126-5, and it's the battle of the Twin Cities. Madison represented by the Black Angels, Boom by Danville, and we go to the Danville Boom side. Foles, 15 points. Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, Cordell Patterson, and Julio Jones kicking down some big-time points for Boom. Gronkowski also showed up, but on the bottom half there, where was your kicker, dude? But we take it to the Madison side and the Black Angels, and Stafford was ready to answer. Not much out of the running backs, but Colston and Macklin kicking down big points. And as you flip it over, Dennis Pitta. Who? 18 points. Patrick Willis kicking in, and it leads to an Angel victory. 129-100. We're moving on. It's the Cobra Kai's, your defending world champion against the inaugural champs, Hail Marys. We take it over to the Cobra Kai side, and Jared came ready to swing with Megatron. 35 points for Megatron. Emmanuel Sanders kicking in with 14 as well. And as you flip it over, Vontae's perfect, and Blair Walsh and J.J. Watt. Big defensive efforts. Does the Marys have an answer? No. Bishop Sankey with only 2. Tom Brady and Arian Foster with a pedestrian 10. And as you flip it over, great defensive effort from Gerard Mayo, and of course superstar Jimmy Graham and Eric Berry kicking it down. But it just wasn't enough as the Kais take them 127.5 to 110.5. And the 3 and outs come to face Let Me Kick, Charlie Brown's group. We take it to the outside, and for Mark Muncy and New Year, same story. Matt Ryan, though, came through big 36-point game. Monte Ball with 15, but Fitzgerald and Eddie Lacy, presto changeo, disappearo. Martellus Bennett, though, kicked it back in with 21 points and 12 points for Shane Graham as we flip it over to the Let Me Kicks. And does Charlie Brown have an answer? You better believe it, brother. Peyton, Le'Veon Bell, Varine, Pierre Garçon, all chipping in big-time point totals. And as you flip it over, it got no better for Mark Muncy as the Let Me Kick boys pound the 3 and outs, 162 to 115.5 as we come to the game of the week presented by Pyrotech. It is the A-Team and the UPS, the battle of the Workman Clan, and we take it to the UPS side. Pyrotech Scoreboard kicking through, and as we come in, we see Andrew Luck, LaShawn McCoy, Reggie Bush coming in, and Roddy White. Great scores there. Flip it on the other side, and we have about the same. Hello, Julius Thomas, 35 points. Hauschka kicking in there with a nice 10-point game. Does the A-Team have an answer? In a word, no. Jay Cutler with a pedestrian 19 and Antonio Brown, but Gore and Doug Martin and Demarius Thomas disappearing act, and as you flip it over, it got no better other than the major 17-point from Harrison Smith, and it leads to an A-Team decimation, 131 to 95.5.
Welcome to the War Room. Remember, big guy, it's Pierre Garçon.
And welcome to the War Room, ladies and gentlemen, the place where you're going to get all the news that is news, as well as the greatest interviews. This week we're taking it to the news desk. We got 2 major trades in the BYB that we're going to cover. And here we go, the BYB Insider 6000 flaring up. He's going to tell you about the first one as the Cobra Kai's and the Hail Marys hook up in a massive trade. 2 huge superstars are changing addresses, and here's the specifics. For the Hail Marys, they grabbed superstar Jimmy Graham, also Reggie Wayne and Justin Forsett. Heading over to the Marys in exchange, the Cobra Kai's will be getting Pierre Thomas. Charles playing, of course, the big piece in this puzzle for the Cobra Kai's. Megatron Calvin Johnson, he goes over to the Cobra Kai's. But wait, there's more. As the Pound Town boys and the UPS hooked up in a massive trade, and the BYB Insider 6000 has this one as well. As we break it down, Pound Town grabbing Victor Cruz, Reggie Bush, and Roddy White in a big deal. And flipping the other side, the UPS gets big running back help at Rashad Jennings. And of course, massive superstar AJ Green heads over to the UPS. So I think it's fair to say that the UPS boys are trying to square up to make yet another run for the title. We'll see how that works out for Pound Town. But we'll get you these guys onto the show to explain this trade in better detail in further episodes. So there you go, folks. 2 players on their way out and a bunch of players moving on to new teams. It's the War Room. The BYB Insider 6000 is rocking and rolling. But we're not to be outdone. We're diving into week 2. Here we go.
And here we go, week 2. We start off with the Angels and the outs, and diving into the Angel side of things. And who's going to lead it for the Angels? How about no one? Marquise Colston didn't even get a target in the game. Jamal Charles gets hurt, and you flip it around, and the numbers just doesn't get any better for the Angels. Ineptitude at its finest, folks. And flip it around to the outs. They had to bring it, and in a word, no. But Monte Ball, Harvin, and Fitzgerald did make it to double figures for Mark Muncy, and I guess that's a positive. You flip it around, and you come up with Martellus Bennett and Elvis Dumerville, who conspired together to lead the Alps to survival mode, and they pick up a victory as they take the Angels 81-75. Whoo! Scorefest. Pound Town, Boom Jessica White. We're in the box scores, starting off with the Boom Boys. The Pyrotech Scoreboard is going to show you Nick Foles and Mark Ingram and Julio down by the schoolyard combining together for some huge points. Not much from Gerald McCoy. Clinton Dix. Just a fun name to say. Pound Town, here we go. Bringing it up, Aaron Rodgers, Terrence West, and Rashad Jennings. AJ gets hurt, brings 0 to the table, but in the end, thanks to Bobby Wagner and Adam Vinatieri, they didn't really even need AJ as Pound Town cruises by and wins 104-94.5. We're on to the A-Team and the McConnell Mud Dogs. We're going to start it off with the Mud Dog side. Tommy Quick trying to put two together for the first time in over 21 games, and literally Russell and DeMarco Murray was going to try to make it happen, but unfortunately they were sabotaged on the backside by mediocre numbers from Cameron Jordan and Eric Weddle. Could the A-Team come through and take over? In a word, yes. Ahmad Bradshaw, Thomas, and Antonio Brown bringing some good numbers, but when you flip this one around, Delaney Walker and Chandler Jones and Justin Tucker. And when you're nailing down numbers like that, it leads to a bloodbath. 162.5-98. Send the ambulance for the Mud Dogs, please. Sex Panthers, Hail Mary. We're going to take it to the Sex Panther side. Larry Dameron's boys kicking through. Top side a little weak, but Dez and Jordy was going to do everything in their power to make sure that Larry puts victory number 1 on the board. Goskowski and Kyle Rudolph. Big points for a kicker, 14. Would it be enough? Could Hail Mary answer? In a word, yeah. Hello, Arian Foster, Darren Sproles back from the dead, and Randall Cobb. Big numbers, and you flip it around, and the news got even worse with superstar Jimmy Graham. In his last effort for the Marys, hand delivers them a victory. 142.5-122.5. And we're moving on. The Guild and Let Me Kick. The Kick Boys coming off that masterful Week 1 performance. We're in their side, and the numbers flip up. Could we expect more of the same? Well, Peyton and Le'Veon Bell and Eric Decker showed up, but the rest of the guys came through with very little, and you get back here and you find where everything just went all wrong for Charlie. Could the Guild answer back? In a word, absolutely. Remarkable effort all the way around. Nice and level stream there for Michael Evans as his boys were consistent. And as you know in this game, consistency is the key to winning championships. And it wins the Guild a big game here. 114.5-95. And we're on to the game of the week presented by Pyrotech. It's a rematch of the BYB championship game from a year ago. The Cobra Kai's and the UPS. We're going to take it to the Cobra Kai side, and for Jared Taylor, it looked promising. With Giovanni Bernard, Megatron in his last effort for the Kais, and Emmanuel Sanders combined together for some good scores. You flip it around to the defensive side, a little light. Although J.J. Watt did score a touchdown. No tackles or sacks like he really should, but hey, you take points any way you can get them, right, kids? Flip it to the UPS side. Can they answer? They were going to try at least. Andrew Luck, McCoy. There you see Victor Cruz and Roddy White in their last efforts for the UPS boys before they're moving on. And on the defensive side, you found the outage. Julius Thomas came through with a mediocre game for him at least, and the rest of the guys, mediocre points there, and it leads to a Cobra Kai victory, 105.5-99.
So that's it, kiddies. Week 1 and Week 2 are in the books. And as we move forward here, we've got the insanely expensive BYB 5000 with the power rankings. And as we go to look, Michael Evans and the Guild leading the way in the number one spot, but right on his heels, also undefeated, is your defending world champion, Cobra Kai's. But the game has just started, folks. Long way to go as we determine who is going to travel the road and capture Dina. So that's it for this episode of the BYB Insider, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Join us again in 2 weeks as the road to Dina continues. Molly, play us off!
Thanks for watching the BYB Insider. Please join us again in 2 weeks for another exciting episode as we continue the quest for the Dina Spencer Trophy.